This video is going to be a review over finding the x and y intercept with the cover-up method, finding the slope, and then being able to write your equation in slope-intercept form. Now, let me remind you that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, which, remember, that is where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Okay, to find the y-intercept, you need to remember that the x number is going to be 0, and you need to find the y number. So what I'm going to do is you on your paper can just cover up this 2x, because 2 times 0 is 0. I'm going to color it in because I can erase it. You don't want to do that on your paper because you want to remember what that is. So I'm going to have 3y equals 12. I'm going to divide by 3. Y equals 4. So my y-intercept is going to be 0, 4. To find my x-intercept, I know that my y number is going to be 0 because I need to look and find my x number. So I'm going to cover up my y number, and I get 2x equals 12. Divide by 2, x equals 6. Now, to find your slope, you can do it 2 different ways. I'll start with this way. I'll do this problem with a table, and the next one maybe with a graph. But I'm going to put 0, 4, and 6, 0. Remember, x then y. To find the slope, I'm going to do delta y divided by delta x. The change in y, remember slope is change in y over the change in x. To go from 4 to 0, that's minus 4. To go from 0 to 6 is plus 6. Delta y over delta x is negative 4 over 6. Now, if you don't know how to reduce that and you don't know what it is, let me see if I can move this over here. I'm going to go into my home screen, and we're going to put in there, as soon as I clear it out, there we go, negative 4, divide 6, and press math, enter, enter. It reduces it for me. It's negative 2/3. So I have negative 2/3 is my slope. Now, to write my equation in slope-intercept form, I need the y-intercept and the slope. So my equation is y equals, oh, and I wrote 3 over 3, didn't I? Silly me. Try that again. How about negative 2/3? Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. Now, if I went to graph it, see, the other way you can find your slope is if you graph it right here. You have 0, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can put a dot there, and 6, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even if you don't have a graph, you can do this because you can just sketch it. Now, your slope, you're going to go down 4, negative 4. That's where that came from. And over 6. That's where that bottom number came from. So you do negative 4 over 6 and do it the same way. Next problem. So right here you can try and pause the video and see if you can come up with it. Remember, the y-intercept means that the x number is 0. So I'm going to cover up the x, and I get 4y equals 20. I'm going to divide by 4. Y equals 5. So my y-intercept is 0, 5. My x-intercept, I'm going to remember that's where that y number is 0. I'm going to cover up the y. I get negative x equals 20. Well, that's like a negative 1. So I divide by negative 1, and I get x equals negative 20. Negative 20. Now, to find the slope, remember that is delta y over delta x. You can build a table if you want. If you sketched it, 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be up here. Now people say, oh, we don't have room for 20. Well, I could just kind of go back here and pretend, and I know that this right here is negative 20. So when they go together here, now to find my slope, I know I'm going up 5 and over 20. So 5 over 20, if you go in your calculator and put in there 5 divide 20, and do math, enter, enter. It's 1/4. Well, there we go. Let's see if I can get my pen to work again. Here we go. It equals 1/4. So my slope is 1/4. You could have built a table. Okay, you could have gone over here. Let's see. There it is. And built a table and put in there 0, 5, and -20, 0, and done delta y over delta x. To write the equation for the slope-intercept form, you have y equals, the slope is 1/4 x plus 5. The slope and the y-intercept is what you need. Next one. All right, I need to find the y-intercept. That means that my x number is 0. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to cover up my x. I get -4y equals 20. I'm going to divide by -4. I get y equals -5. So my y-intercept is 0, -5. To find my x-intercept, my x number, I know my y number is 0. So I'm going to cover up the y. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 5x equals 20. I'm going to divide by 5. X equals 4. So there is my x-intercept. Now to find the slope, I can do this a couple of ways. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the graphing way. If I go here, it says 0, -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll put a dot. The x-intercept is 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put this right here. Now, first off, I know the slope's going to be positive because my line is increasing. I'm going to go up 5 and over 4. So 5 over 4, that's my slope. 5/4. To write my equation in slope-intercept form, I need slope and the y-intercept. So my equation, y equals 5/4 x minus 5. Next, here's the next one. Let's try and do that again. Now the y-intercept was what we're going to look for first. I have a 0 for the x number because I'm trying to find the y. Oh my goodness gracious, look, I typed the wrong thing. This is supposed to be 3x. Let's go back and fix that. That's supposed to be a 3x right there. Okay, so let's see here. So 3x plus 6y. So I am going to cover up my x, and I get 6y equals 18. I'm going to divide by 6. At y equals 3. Okay, so let me erase that, and let me fix that again. It's supposed to be 3x right there. Not y, but an x. There we go. All right. So now to find the x-intercept, I know that my y number is 0, so I'm going to cover up my y. I get 3x equals 18. I'm going to divide by 3. X equals 6. Now to find my slope, I'm going to erase this right here because I need some room here to kind of graph so I can find my slope. So if I graph this, I've got 0, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 6, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's my line. Oops, kind of ghettofied. That's all right. Now I know my line is negative because I know my slope is negative because my line is decreasing. I'm going down 3, so -3 and over 6. -3 over 6 reduces to -1/2. My slope is negative, oops, didn't write that right. My slope is -1/2. My equation is y equals -1/2 x plus 3. Remember, you need your slope and your y-intercept. Let's see if I wrote this next problem right. Oh, I do have an x and y. Good deal. All right. So I'm trying to find my y-intercept, It means my x number is 0. I'm going to cover up my x. I have negative 14y equals 21. Ooh, that's not very friendly, is it? So I'm going to divide by negative 14. Now, it might help me if I go in my calculator, put in there 21, divide negative 14, math, enter, enter. And it reduces it to negative 3/2. So y equals negative, and negative 3/2 is actually y equals negative 1.5. So I can write it like that too, negative 1.5. That'll work. Now my x-intercept, my y number is 0. And I cover up my y. And I'm going to have negative 7x equals 21. I'm going to divide by negative 7. I have x equals negative 3. So there is my x-intercept and my y-intercept. Now to find my slope, I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through and I'm going to try and graph. Well, you know, it may be easier on this one to make a table right here. And I have 0 and negative 1.5 and negative 3, 0. Now remember, my slope is delta y divided by delta x. Remember, I have x, then y. Right here, I get plus, I don't have a lot of room here, 1.5. And this is minus 3. So I have positive 1.5 divided by negative 3. And even though it's like some funky number like that, that's okay. So I go up here, and I'm going to put in there 1.5 divided by negative 3 and press enter. It gives me negative 0.5, which is fine. I mean, I could also write it as negative 1/2. Either way, it's the same thing. So I'll write it as negative 1/2. So I need my y-intercept and I need my slope. Y equals negative 1/2 x minus 1.5. Not the friendliest of equations, but it still works. Let's see here. Oh, this is the last one that I have. Let's see if I can move this up a little bit. Okay. So now, what is the y-intercept? Remember, the y-intercept has an x number of 0. So I cover up the x, and I'm going to have 3y equals 6. I'm going to divide by 3. Y equals 2. So I have 0, 2. Next, my x-intercept. Remember, my x-intercept, my y number is 0, so I cover up my y's. I get negative 9x equals 6. Ooh, that's not a very friendly one either, but that's okay. Just because it's a decimal doesn't mean it's bad. I divide by negative 9. If you would put that in your calculator, press math, enter, enter. Actually, let's just do and make the decimal. Let's see what it says. Let's go in here and go 6 divided by negative 9, which is still not going to give me a very nice fraction. Yep, it's negative 0.667. Or if I took that and I pressed math, enter, enter, it would make it into the fraction, reduce it into the fraction, negative 2/3. So my y-intercept is negative 2/3 and 0. Okay, so now to find my slope, it is delta y over delta x. Now, those are kind of tough to graph, so what I would do is make a table and do 0, 2, and negative 2/3 and 0. This isn't the nicest of ones, but that's okay. So if I do, I have x then y, and I do the change in y, I have minus 2. The change in x, I have minus 2/3. Well, let's see, delta y over delta x, negative 2 over negative 2/3. Ooh, that looks kind of crazy, but it won't be too bad, especially since we have the calculators. You just put this in parentheses and it will give you your answer. So I'll go over here and I'm going to put negative 2 divided by, parentheses, negative 2/3. Oh, I didn't get, it's hard for me to see here. All right, let's see. Negative 2/3 x, and press enter, and it's 3. So all of this right here equals 3, so my slope is just a 3. So I need my slope and my y-intercept. Y equals 3x plus 2. That's my equation.